Hello everyone. This time we will gonna build this paper plane model, maybe metal sheet plane model, because this looks like a metal here. And we will also learn how to apply such materials with this kind of reflection. Okay, so let's start. Let's open a new Rhino file and let's assume the width of the plane is about 15 centimeter. So long press, select line from midpoint, and we want to start from the origin point, so press 0, enter. And now I can type in 150, or I can also type in 15 centimeter. Press enter and hold down shift to lock it on one axis and click with the left mouse button. So then we will start to build our model from the front view. Select polyline, and this is our first point. This is the body and this is the wing. So it's a bit too wide now. Let's bring it down a bit. Okay, this looks fine. So now I'm gonna mirror this to the other side. And maybe I make it a bit higher on this spot. So select these points. Maybe also to the sides. Okay. So let's create a new layer called curves. And we will put all the curves onto it, which we don't need right now anymore. So let's select this one, change object layer and hide the layer. So now let's bring this one to this point. And what I need now is to define the length, and the length should be, I think, something like this, or maybe a bit less. Okay, so now I start with a new line, single line. Select, let's say this wingtip. And if I go to this point, I go also down to this point. But what I want here is to be in the same axis, in the z-axis here, in the height, but to be on this spot from the top view. That means I can go and check project, and you see here, this is my point from the top, but the z-axis remains. So click once, and now select another single line, and now I have to uncheck project, otherwise I start from my construction plane, this grid. So uncheck project, single line, go to this point, right mouse button to repeat this point and this. And the last one is from this point to this. Select this line, put it on curves layer. Okay, right now we have just curves. Let's make surfaces. Go to surface tools, and as long as we have these curves flat, you see it from the front, for example, or maybe not really, you cannot see it so good, but they are flat right now. And if so, we can use surface from planar curves. So select this curve, this curve, this curve, and these two are joined. So press escape, and explode this and explode also this. Again. Then right mouse button to repeat. I can either go for curve or surface edge. Doesn't matter here, but let's take this one. And now I can mirror this. Press 0, enter. Okay, and here on our surfaces, there are also the curves on this spot. So if you click here, you can select what you want to select. And let's select all the curves. And for that, go to select. And here you'll find select curves. And all the curves that are currently visible will be selected. And then we will apply them to this layer. Okay, so now let's go for the wingtips, or this winglets. Go to the top view, and let's make the straight line. Mirror, or no, let's make first this one and then mirror the whole wing to the other side. I just have to find the right spot, and currently it's not so good to see the result. So for that I can select my curve and project this on the wing. Press space, make sure you're on the right view, and this will be my split curve. And yeah, that's good. Maybe I move it a bit outwards. So select the line and project this again. And yeah, I think this is good. And now let's split the surface with this line. Select split, select the object, press space, select the curve, press space. And now our wing, let's split it. Select this curve and put it on the layer. Now we can rotate this around this edge, but I think it's not that easy in this case, because if we are in the front and we start to rotate this along this axis, you see what's happening here? You get this gap because we are not looking right perpendicular to our surface. We can change that by creating a new construction plane. This one, this grid, is a construction plane, and for the rotation, for the rotation point, we're gonna construct a new one. So first select circle and around curve, and it doesn't have to be a curve, it can also be an edge. Click, it doesn't matter which one, select this, then click here and make the circle. Now we go to C-planes and click on this one, set C-plane to object. Click once, and now you can see that this grid moved to our object. Now let's go to the front and select set view plan, and nothing's happening because first we have to define the C-plane. And you know what, let's make it in a perspective. It's maybe a bit, it's not so difficult then. Okay, set view and set plan. Now we are looking directly on this splitted edge, and set the front view to perspective and make it shaded. And if you select now this wing, go out to this view, to this perspective view, and rotate it now around this point. You see, it's working now. So let's just adjust the angle, and this is something like this. Okay, now let's bring back our original construction plane for this view. And for that, go to Set View, Perspective. And in the perspective, the original construction plane is World Top. So click on this one, Set C-Plane, World Top. And now we've got it back. And for the front view, go Set View, Front. And set it again to wireframe mode. Okay. So this curve goes on curves layer. Select the wing, delete it, and then mirror this one to the other side. Good. Now this one is a sharp nose. I don't want to have it like that. I want to cut it. So make a new curve. And just a bit, maybe this, like this. So then go to split and then drag it. And this is what we get now. This looks good. Now let's select all the surfaces we've got here and then join them. Now I want to make the fillets. Go to Solid Tools, Fillet Edges, and let's make first this one. Press Enter. Preview yes. So for me it looks fine here with a radius of 1. You can also grab this handle and make it a bit bigger. Or type in 1.3 for example, press enter. And for the other side, I want to have it much bigger, like 4. And press space. Now again, right mouse button to repeat this and this. 1 here is good, and on the other sides let's make this also like 4. And here the same. Yeah, don't pick on this one, but on this handle. 4, enter, and press space. And for these guys, click on Set All, and let's make them much bigger, like 15. Or maybe a bit less, 10. Yes, this is good. And now I want to add a thickness to this model. So select the surfaces, go to Surface Tools and Offset Surface. And the arrows indicates in which direction the thickness will be produced. So it's going outwards now. And this is okay. Distance means the thickness. So let's make 0.2 or maybe 0.3. And make sure that's solid. press space, and this is our result. Okay, so just to make it perfect, let's make a rounding here. Solid tools, fillet edge again, select this small edge, and also on the other side, so like this. Press space. Doesn't have to be that big, like maybe like 1 or like 2. And also I would say for this small edge here, this and this. They can be even bigger, so undo. Right mouse button, select this. Oh, it's difficult to select them. And this. And now set all, make 4, 6. Yes, this is good. So I also want to have a bracket here, which is holding our plane. For this, let's make a new layer and call it plane. Right mouse button, change object layer. And now a new layer, brackets. And you know what? First, let's make this plane more curved, so more banded, I would say. So you see here, it's just a straight line, as we made it from the straight lines, and these are also straight curves and straight surfaces. So we can bend it if we select our objects and apply and modify cage edit command. So let's make first a safe layer. So this is our plane layer. Let's click on new sublayer and call it safe 1. And while it's selected, click on copy and click on paste. Now I pasted this in place. It's on the same place as the original. And I select one of them and put it on the safe layer with right mouse button, change object layer, and hide it then. And now select our plane and go to transform and cage edit. Select here bounding box, and it means that the whole object will be selected and the bounding box will be applied then. This one, C-plane world 3 point, doesn't matter, just press space. This is our point counts. How many points do we have to modify our model? 4 is good. Degree 3 is also good. Press space and here space again. So now we have this cage and we can pick these guys, for example, and bring them down a bit. And you see the whole model gets banded. Select this inner guys and bend it a bit more. You can also select just one row. Make sure that you select the one row but not one point, because then it gets asymmetrical. So drag and then modify it as you wish. Of course you can go in more extreme way like this one, but I don't want that here. So select just a few points and modify them in a proper way. Okay, so I think this looks good, and maybe in the front we select then these guys, put them up a bit, and these bring them down. So we also get this curved shape here. Maybe it's a bit too much. That's okay. So press escape, and now we can delete the cage. Now let's make the brackets. And for that, select the rectangle and press 0, 1. And let's make it like this. So I've got this rectangle curve. Bring the plane up a bit. And now let's take this point and taper it a bit so it looks more stable. Okay, what I'm gonna do now, I select this and go to project, and from the right view I want to project this on the plane. So this is the curve I received then. And you see it projects on both surfaces. So we have this thickness, and this one is the outer, the one surface, and this is the other surface, this one. So the inner curve I don't need. I select it and delete. And this one, this is what I want, and this I want to put on brackets. And let's hide the plane. And what I'm going to do now, I can select this one and bring it to this point. Now explode, delete this line, take this point and bring it to this corner. Now select these curves. Let's enable the points and bring them in this more stable position. All right, now select this curve and let's explode it so we can pick the segments of the curve. And this I don't need, and these are also the curves that I don't need. And I will make here a straight line, and also on the other side. And now let's build the surfaces. So this time I go to Surface Tools and select Surface from 2, 3, or 4 edge curves. Select this curve, this, and this. Right mouse button or space, this. And this time I select Surface Edge. Okay. So then select these, mirror them. Here is also a curve, and here is a curve, and I think here is also a curve. No, not this one. And let's select them and put them on the new sublayer, curves, just for the brackets. Change object layer and hide. Now I go to Surface Tools, Sweep to Rails, and this is my first rail, this is my second rail, and these are my cross sections. And make sure you have tangency on so they go fluently from one surface to the other. so at least tangency, and click on OK. Now select all the surfaces and join. The next step, I want to have a fillet here. Solid tools, fillet edge, click on this and on this. And 6 is way too big. 1, yes, 1 is good. And there are also some curves here. Let's select them. You can also go to select and select curves and bring them to curves. Now I want also to add a kind of thickness here. So surface tools, offset surface, and it has to go outwards. If it's not, you have to click it just on the surface. And the distance may be 0.5 this time. Cool, this is good. Now let's make a fillet here. And also here, here, and this one. Space, and maybe a radius of 2. Okay, let's put it on the brackets layer and show our plane. And let's bring it up just a bit. Okay, almost done here. And now we are going to render this, so with the viewport render. And of course this is only available in version 6 of Rhino and this quality. So now let's, one thing I forget, there is a cutting line here between the plane itself and the metal parts. So let's make them first. Let's make a polyline, something like this. You can make a shape you want. So now I go to curve tools, fillet curves, and let's make it more round here. Okay. Now mirror this to the other side. Select the plane, split, and select the curves. And these curves, they are going to be on the curves layer. And now we go to Material tab and select, this time let's say Custom, and that's the plane. Select our plane, assign to object. And now let's add a bit of reflectivity here and make it a bit darker, maybe. And for the winglets, let's make a new material, this time metal. Assign to object. And you can adjust the color here. Is it polish, rough? You can also adjust this here. And the bump texture, the kind of reflectivity you saw on my original model, you can adjust here. Let's make crosshatch. And you can already see there is a kind of reflectivity structure going on here. You can also adjust the scaling. And for the brackets, let's make a new layer, maybe also kind of metal. Assign it and make it a bit darker. You can also play with the materials. And yeah, but I think we are done here. I hope you learned something and see you next time. Bye.